I was curious, Coach, about
I mean, it seems like he's kind of taken over that spot. What are your impressions, your thoughts on him?
Yeah, he's done a really good job, and he's kind of like that blue collar story. He came in here, he's flirted around with the guard spot throughout spring, and then obviously we had Myron Cunningham leave, and so there was a void there, and he's really stepped up and done a really, really good job. Just handles his business, and I think at times that's kind of what that's what you need at left tackle. You need a left tackle you can trust. Obviously in the NFL, that's why they pay him the big bucks. They need somebody they can trust, and he's been really sound out there. He's gotten a lot better in his pass protection technique, and he works at it. He's a kid that he knows what his deficiencies are. He's smart enough to know what his deficiencies are, plays to his strengths, and he goes out there to work every day, and he's really gotten some good action versus Drew Sanders, coming off the edge, and, some live rushers coming around there and he's done a really, really good job with it. I'm impressed with him. That goes from, a question mark you have early, and then he kind of plays himself into, a solid spot right there, but he's doing a great job.
I think with that being the only open spot as far as not having a returning starter, a lot of us thought that maybe Takias Crawford would be over there competing there, but you guys have put him over on the right side. Just your thinkings behind.
Yeah, there's some, you can go down the wormhole on it, and you sit on the board and depth chart and who goes down here. Bo's been taking a lot of center reps as well in the event, something were to happen to Rick or one of the other centers. So you got a right side void there. Okay. And Takias has been working that. He's also been working one right tackle reps. Okay. So all of those guys, as well as Brady's been working one left tackle reps. Okay. So you're getting those combo periods where when we go into a Saturday, I don't want to put a kid in a position that he has not seen versus the best that we have to offer here. Because the kid's confidence is going to go up if I've played him in that position. So Takias is getting a little bit of that. He'll see a little bit more one guard as we progress through camp, but he's gotten some one tackle. He's done well at two right tackle. He's in a really good spot. I think last year a lot of guys were in the position of, heck, I take over in June, right? And now you're coaching O-line and coming in is kind of like Rosetta Stone. You know what I'm saying? You're just teaching a new language. You're teaching a little bit new techniques, but it's mainly a new language, new calls. So guys are building their confidence as they go. Takias is really taking a hold of that. He's in a really, really good spot right now from a standpoint of making calls within our offense that he wouldn't have dreamed about making last year. So he's just got to keep progressing and keep that consistency up. We're going to need him this year. This is a big boy league, and you got offensive line wise, you're going to have issues at some point during the year, and not saying that he can't go win it right now, but he's progressing. He's on the best trajectory he's ever been here, and he's the most ready to play that he's ever been since he's been here. If that answers that.
You have as many starters returning, as much veteran experience as you do. What does that afford you to do? What does it allow you to do that maybe if you had younger guys, you couldn't do it?
Got more coaches on the field. You know what I'm saying? I can pair those guys up and say, hey, Ricky Stromberg, go take XYZ young guy, go work on this. And there's ownership there. Obviously as a coach, you got to make sure Ricky's teaching them the right thing, but he's invested, he knows our techniques, but you're able to kind of branch guys off, and you got more coaches, you got more eyes. They're coaching young guys. You know what I'm saying? Bo Limmer's coaching a Patrick Kutas. Brady Latham's coaching a Patrick Kutas. Luke Jones is coaching a Andrew Chambly, is coaching a Devin Marion. Those guys. So you got more eyes out there that you trust, and just from them playing together as ones, the communication level is at an elite level right now because number one, the knowledge base is there. Okay. You can't communicate it at a high level if you don't have a firm knowledge base. And they got that knowledge base as the season kind of progressed last year. And now they're able to execute that through high levels of communication. And blitzes they may see one day that are brand new. If it gets them one time, they're talking, hey, listen, we should have made this call. I think this call would have worked out better. So now it's it's conceptual learning. It's not, I do this because Coach Kennedy said so. It's, we do this because this guy was more dangerous than this guy. So they're able to conceptually learn things and apply them. Whereas it's not like a multiple choice SAT, ACT. You know what I'm saying? Like they're able to apply things to different situations. And that's fun to see in my mind, man. That's what you do it for. You want all your guys playing at that level, to be honest, 1s, 2s, and 3s. But just to see those guys kind of communicate, and you see the light bulb go off like, oh, we could have done that and it would have been easier for us. Maybe next time we do that. And it's like, yeah, that's it. That's coaching, you know? So it's fun.
Odom told us in spring, I mean, they were running a lot of blitz. I'm wondering like what that did for you and how you feel right now with blitz pickup.
I mean, I'm just very thankful to be in the position I'm in, man. I wake up every day. I walk into the office. Coach Pittman's at the head hog office down there. One of the best, the best O-line coach in the game. I'll walk 2 more doors down. You got Barry Odom, who's one of the top coordinators in the game, and you got Kendall Browse on my side of the office there. I mean, it's just like what Coach Odom throws at us. I don't have a call left to install. You know what I'm saying? Like I don't have a call left, and that's what I was telling the guys today. Is we've seen a lot of variations of looks, and I'm just thankful we get to see it. It makes me a better coach. You know what I'm saying? Going against a guy like Coach Odom, who's a premier guy in the country, who's going to put you in situations where you got to be on it, you know, and that's made me a better coach. It's made our players better players. And it just brings your whole organization up when you're around really, really good football coaches. So, you know, hats off to those guys. They put us in situations where, oh man, we got to go over this in meetings. You know what I'm saying? And we should. You know what I'm saying? If you're checking your oil the right way and you're preparing for an SEC slate, you should have those meetings. And you're going to have those reps in practice where, dang, forgot to cover that. That's bad on me. And I take it and I grow as a coach. But man, I'm just thankful for that. I'm happy to be here every day and get to work and see those guys operate, especially being a younger guy, seeing that. It's a lot of fun, man. It really is. Yeah, I tell you what, we're doing that communication that we talked about helps us a lot. And we've done a lot better at picking up first sight blitzes, what I'm calling the first time we see it, and applying our concepts. We're doing the best we've ever done in that situation. Now, is that super realistic within SEC slate? Not really, because you're going to see blitzes on tape. You're going to be able to prepare for them. But it is really encouraging to see certain blitzes in practice and be able to pick them up just by applying what we know. And we're doing a really good job with it. You know, obviously, Barry gets me some days, and we get him some other days. So it's a tit for tat type deal. It's a heavyweight boxing matchup in the box there. So, but we're at a high level right now. But that's what I tell the guys, not to get on another deal, but you know, the standard last year was lower than what it is this year. And sometimes we would miss blitzes last year and it was like, oh, we got to do this year. It's not. It's more so on the players like, hey, let's go. We know that, you know, so that's how you build great programs and great organizations is the standard has to increase, you know, not necessarily with the expectations, but it's just got to increase off of being around each other and playing the game together. And I've had that comparison with the O-line. Hey, last year, that'd have been an okay practice. This year, that's a bad practice. You know, so we got to keep building it and keep rising the standard around here to get where we want to get to.
Coach, how big was it to get Dalton Wagner back this year as a super senior, and what does he bring to your room?
You know, he's the old man of the room. He's really smart. He's seen a lot of looks. Golly, he's been through the ebbs and flows of this thing, man. He's been through it all. He has a great attitude. I feel like he's come back, and it's kind of. He understands what's at stake this year. He understands what his goals are, what he wants to do, where he wants to see this program at. He's just a team player that goes out there and gives it his all every day. And you're going to want some different things out of Dalton here or there. Man, I wish you could do that. Man, he's going to lay it on the line for Arkansas every day. And you love those guys in your room. They're great for your your room. They're great for your team. They're great for everything. And he's just done a really good job. I think he's cut 2 or 3% body fat, you know, which, you know, he's still one of the largest humans I've been around, you know, but he's trimmed up. He's done a good job with Coach Walker in the weight room and kind of preparing for this last hoorah and, you know, go to achieve some dreams. And he's a team first guy. There's nothing about him that's individual. He's just got goals to see everybody else be happy, see everybody else win, you know, typical O-line guy.
Coach Pittman was telling us the other day that he thinks Patrick Kutas is a guy that could make a push for the 2 deep. What have been your early impressions of him, and where all is he working for you?
All right, he's primarily at right guard. Okay, and Patrick comes to us from a great program, Christian Brothers out of Memphis. He's really a kid that is he's a unique athlete, man. He is a very, very large guy that's super strong through his hands. He's going to have a really, really bright future here. It's just like every high school guy that comes in here in the trenches, the speed of the game, you know, and there's glimpses of Patrick Kutas like, holy smokes, as a freshman, you know what I'm saying? And then there's other plays where it's, oh, that's a freshman. You know, and that's no knock on Kutas. He's doing a phenomenal job, but just getting to that consistent level of play with guys at a high level because he's you know, he's getting some reps with the 2s and he's got to compete with different guys. And it's a good battle out there. And he's doing a phenomenal job, especially for a kid that didn't get the spring portion of grasping our offense and knowing what to do. And it's kind of crazy to look up. He's I'm in a time warp right now, but 8 days? I mean, 8 days of practice, 9 days of practice, something like that. I mean, that's his number of practices he has been with this team. And you got to take a step back sometimes and say, man, he's progressing really, really well for where he's at. And I'm excited about him. It's a good player.
Assume Luke Jones is your left tackle. We've talked about Ty Keys. Okay, that's 6.
Yep.
I know Sam's talked about, I'd like to talk about 7 or 8 kids ready to play. Who would be some of those other, I'm not necessarily who would be those other 2, but who's in contention for those other spots?
Yeah. I'll just kind of go from left to right, and it's going to be a handful. So that's a good thing, right? You don't want to be, let me try and get to 7. I'm going to give you an over, and then we'll figure it out in these practices, right? You got Andrew Chandler's running 2 left tackle. You got Devin Manuel, who's had reps at 2 left tackle as well. Okay, they're in the mix. Jalen St. John's in the mix. Okay, Street's been running at 2 center for us right now with Marcus Henderson coming back. Marcus Henderson, also another one. Amarian Harris is another one as well. And then obviously we already talked about Tykees, but those are guys that are like, it's a battle every day now. And that's what you want, right? I mean, you want guys competing and trying to, when they get in with the 2s, it means something to them. Or when they get in with the 1s, it means something to them. Now, should we all be redlining to every rep? We should, but like those guys, it means something when they're in there and they're battling every day.
Came to you as a walk-on from Bentonville. What's he doing well to elevate that fast, I guess you could say, whatever. Second team, you know.
Anything and everything you ask of him. He's sprinting across the field like a madman for every special teams period. He's snapping the ball and listening to me yell at him every day and trying to get him better. And he's just trying. He's a battler, man. He's just a he loves Arkansas, man. He loves being here. He loves the Hogs. He's what you want mentally. And he's a do everything guy, man. Is that back end wedge on kickoff return? Is that punch shield? Is that whatever? He's running all over special teams, and there's spots for guys like that, you know, and there should be.
You feel pretty good about the walk-ons you've got on the offensive line. I mean,
Yeah.
I know some of them are just freshmen that just come in, but you feel pretty good about where it's going in that direction?
Yeah, I got a soft spot in my heart. I was a walk-on, so I keep track of those guys, man, and keep them motivated. But, you know, Brooks Edmondson out of Bryant, he's got a future. Kai Hamilton and, you know, you got Brock Burns. Both, you know, they're going to be valuable guys. And that's kind of the thing with those guys is like you got to work in your bubble to make you the best you can be. And you never know when your number's going to get dialed up. For instance, Street, I don't think if we were hinging bets, I don't think Street would think he would be in the position he's in right now. But he is, because he's worked his tail off to get there and he earned it. And, you know, he's in contention for those things. And those 3 guys fit that same mold. they'll do anything you ask, and they're doing a really, really good job. I'm glad to have them here in our room.
Coach Pittman talked about how you and him had a conversation about Luke Jones, how you don't really talk about him because you don't notice him doing things wrong. Is it, you still feel that way? You just feel like, that left tackle spot's really good right now.
Yeah. I'm an O-line coach, so I go through everything with a microscope. All right. We're still coaching him as hard as we can every single day. You with me? Because that's what I do. But there's not a lot of moments. You know what I'm saying? Like, golly, we got to do this. And that's what you don't want. But like from a get better perspective, like everybody's a long way off. You know what I'm saying? You take it through a microscopic view of, hey, we got to fix this angle. Hey, we got to fix this. Nobody's there. Nobody's like, all right, left tackle, I'll watch all these other guys. But what he's done and what he's transitioned from in those moments, that's what he's gotten to. And that's what's important, obviously. And that's what Coach Pittman referenced in the O-line room, though. He gets it a little bit. He gets it a little bit more than just looking past it.
And also, he said that Chambly was the only guy in the scrimmage that went off and didn't come back, but saw him at practice day. He's okay.
Yeah. Just some shoulder stuff. You get these freshmen in here in SEC style. And man, we get after. I mean, you guys have seen it. I mean, we get after it out there. A little bit, that's a shock to their system. Things are moving fast. People are really, really strong. You go from high school where you're the strongest, you're the biggest guy, and you show up and everybody's strong and big. And your body has to have time to adjust to that. And there's just some things shoulder-wise, just banged up a little bit, and that's just contact. And, he's got Dave will take care of him, and Coach Walker will do a great job getting him there in the strength program as well. And, getting his body ready for that daily grind.
Chambly and then with Marion Harris, just obviously some highly ranked recruits in the state, but what have you seen from them since you actually, have had them for a little while that makes them unique athletes?
Yeah. I think on the Chambly deal, he's a long rangy kid that can move, man. And like, those are the two kids like that. That's a great nucleus of an O-line recruiting class. They're kids in the state who they're coming here, and they really, really love being here. Chambly's, that he's the more rangier guy, kind of super athletic. E. Harris is he's a large kid, man. He's a large, powerful kid. We've been flexing him in at guard, but man, he also is athletic enough to flex out to tackle. And he's a little bit more guard tackle flex player, where Chambly is a true tackle. But man, I really enjoy those kids. I enjoy coaching them. And they're really sharp kids in the meeting room for just being freshmen. They're, Chambly texted me the other day after practice. He had videoed it on his phone and said, "Hey, coach, do I need to make this call or this call?" And like that type of investment from freshmen is really, really impressive when you're talking about building for the future. And I'm not saying he can't come out here and help us tomorrow, but like for your future as an offensive line room and where we want to be and be viewed at on a national scale, that's the type of kids you need in the room. And I'm floored to have them. Just one thing on E. Harris and Devin Manuel. Devin Manuel probably started at about 405. Okay. If we're being real. E. Harris started at about 385. Both those kids today are sitting at 325, okay, 330 range. All right. So those two kids have absolutely busted their tails. And they knew it. You know what I'm saying? They felt it. Our nutrition department, our strength department, Coach Walker, Julia, all those people get credit, but the kids get credit too. You know what I'm saying? And they made their mind up this offseason that they couldn't do things in the spring that they wanted to go achieve. And man, they put their head down and did it. And E. Harris, Devin Manuel, those two kids they're doing a great job, man. They need to pat on the back. So I told them I was going to do it in the meet room today. So
good segue into this question, but from like a recruiting standpoint, bringing in guys that are 370 or something like that, it seems like it would be maybe, I don't know, beneficial to them to, when they drop down to 320 or something in terms of feeling lighter on their feet versus maybe bringing in a guy who's 280 and building up to 300 plus. Is that any thought process with you?
It's a coin flip, but if you're big and can move, and you can be powerful, you can lose some weight and still be able to move and be powerful. If you're smaller framed and slender framed and you put on weight, there's no guarantee that you'll be able to play as powerful. That's strictly a Coach Kennedy opinion. You know what I'm saying? I'm sure there's going to be some body somewhere that has another opinion, but this league, when you go out there in pregame and you look over there, there's a lot of big people. Okay. And you don't want to be on the short end of the stick and not have big people. Okay. Now the kids know where they play best at weight wise. And we're not sitting there saying, you have to be here. You have to do everything. You won't play until you get to here. It's a more feel of how you play within your body and the confidence level you play at that weight. Okay. And the kids will see it on tape. If they're too heavy, they see it. You know what I'm saying? And sometimes these coaches give out weights and they're like, they need to be here. That's because they've seen it on tape that they perform better there, if that makes sense. But Coach Pitt likes big guys. I prefer them as well out there on Saturdays. So we've gotten bigger guys and kind of trimmed them up, and they're still powerful. They can still move, and I'm excited about working with them.
I share that opinion.
Yeah, no question.
From a recruiting standpoint, I'm sure you're excited to finally get out on the road for the first time on the evaluation period. First time as a Razorback Power 5 coach, SEC coach. What territories are you after, and just what are some of the other philosophies, I guess, that you have when you're scouting these guys?
Yeah, if you look at the book, I got the middle belt of Georgia. Okay, but my background kind of sprays in a lot of different directions, right? I'm from North Alabama. Okay, I spent time in Georgia. Okay, the West Georgia area. I was with Georgia or was at Georgia with Coach. And I've got buddies all through that. And then I've also got a Louisiana piece where obviously I was at Tulane for 2 years, and then I graduated from Southeastern Louisiana University. So I've got buddies in Louisiana as well from a recruiting standpoint. So if you look at it on paper, it's Georgia. If I get a call from Louisiana and Alabama, and they got good players and we got an in, and that's kind of the name of the game. But to be more honest with you with how my recruiting works, if there's a large human somewhere that's running people over, I'm probably going to fly and see them. So I'm on a big O-line tour, usually on a national scale, of big guys that can play for us and fit our mold of what we want in our room. And but yeah, Georgia is the short answer.
How's Ethan Henderson coming along? He's the one freshman we don't
Yeah.
hear about.
Yeah, Eli Henderson, he's coming along. He's playing center. He's getting 3 reps with the center, and also 3 reps with the guard. And he's coming along every day. I actually had a really, a pretty good scrimmage the other day. And he's just trying to put together the speed of the game. And also, man, center's a hard position to come in and play as a freshman. There's no you have to have true command of the offense to play center with all your calls in your belt and go from there. But it's, he's piecing it together, and he's getting better, and he's progressing every day, which is a great thing.
Kid wasn't really highly recruited or forced the hype was Terry Hampton on defense from Arkansas State, but everybody comes in here brags about Terry Hampton. What's he doing well?
Yeah, you better watch out now. I mean, he's hard to dig out of there. Now everybody talks about this natural leverage he's got. That's real. Okay. He can get in there and do some things. He's very, very strong with his hands. And, that's one thing I don't know what it's like to go against an SEC D lineman, right? I didn't play it. I don't know enough about it. So what I do, I ask my room, hey, what do you guys think about that guy? Is he a SEC caliber D lineman? Coach, absolutely. And I think that's more the opinion that's better is when you ask Brady Latham, Ricky Stromberg, Bo Lemmer, hey, what you think about Terry Hampton? Is he a guy? And they're like, oh, Coach, he's a good player. And that's what I go off of. I've never had to block an SEC deal. Well, I mean, I've never had to go against one, so I don't know what it feels like. They do. So if they say it's good, then it's probably pretty good.
Coach said Devin Manuel was a little banged up. Yeah, got any time for him on when he might be back?
Yeah, I'm gonna let Coach Pitt handle all that, man. I went to school. I have straight PE degree, man. So I'm gonna let Dave and Coach kind of handle through that. He'll be back with us on relatively short time frame here. So we're working through it, and just he's progressing really, really well. Yeah.
Up a little. I mean, so
Yeah.
he's really strong in the mix for two left tackle then.
Yes, sir. Absolutely. 100% realistic possibility.
Congrats on your engagement.
Man, I appreciate it. I appreciate it so much. She is unbelievable. She puts up with, like what you were referencing, the recruiting aspect of the job, and then in season, she's a keeper, man. She's wonderful. But went down to New Orleans, got down on a knee, had a little band back behind us. That was nice, man. That was really nice. So.
All weddings.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That's the only bad part. We're going to be sweating in a tux here before too long. So it's only what months I got off. We good? Appreciate you guys so much.